Please be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite Mr. Chris Tobin, representative of the Darug people, to offer the traditional welcome to country.
Thank you. Buju Mulunawul, good morning, and Alawa, welcome. Welcome to the lands of the Walla Medical. I belong to one of the local Aboriginal families of the Darug people, the traditional custodians over this part of the country. I wish to thank the University for their acknowledgement of us and for the invitation to welcome you here this morning. That acknowledgement is important for our people and much appreciated, particularly by our elders. My family descend from Yarramundi, a respected elder and cleverman of the Burrabrongal clan during the early years of colonisation. He saw that our survival in this new world could best be secured if we could learn more about it. As such, he enrolled his daughter, Maria, into the Native Institution, a school set up in 1815 by Governor Macquarie himself, offering formal education to Aboriginal children. Maria studied there for several years and used her newly acquired skills to lobby and ultimately secure some land for herself and her family out along the Richmond Road. Other Aboriginal families soon joined them and became known as the Blackstown, where present-day city of Blacktown gets its name from. We are very proud of her, as I'm sure your families are of you here today. And with good reason. For your progress progresses us all. Your advancement is our advancement. Now that was perhaps more readily understood in traditional times when camps were smaller and clan groups abided by strict sharing laws. Meant that the food that you caught and brought back was distributed throughout the rest of the camp. Your skills and good fortune were thus enjoyed by all. Your efforts literally nourished the whole community. And you in turn shared in their good fortune too. Yes, we can live quite beautifully when we do it right. Our Aboriginal ancestors certainly did in many respects, and I use occasions like this to offer them to yourselves as a model or a benchmark on how good to expect your lives today. You see, when Captain Cook arrived here a little over 200 years ago, he described the people he encountered at Botany Bay as one of the happiest people he had met in the world. They had nothing, he wrote, but the tools that they carried. They made shelters from the bark of trees without cutting them down, harvested food from the land without tilling the earth. In traditional times, everyone was accorded rights to the country or clan area where he or she was born into. So there was no homelessness, and no rich and poor either. Everyone had pretty much the same amount of gear, what you could carry. There were no armies or jails or even police. We have no history of slavery or empire building. People cooperated to collect resources which were then shared out according to strict Aboriginal law. Our lands were maintained in their natural state, the rivers were clean and unpolluted, with people drinking out of them as they have done here for the past 20,000 years. Now remember, this is not an ideal. This was normal life, and I don't see why we should expect less for ourselves and our children than what our ancestors enjoyed. So I would say to you, expect great things from your future and do great things. Together we can probably get a country and a future worthy of our children. We can all do our bit. I'll do mine now by getting off and letting you good people graduate. Just want to say congratulations to you all and all the best in our collective futures. Thank you. Welcome to country.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to introduce the Chancellor of Macquarie University, the Honourable Michael Egan AO.
Well, thank you, Chris Tobin, for your welcome to country. Well, graduands, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's my very great privilege as Chancellor of Macquarie University to preside at this very important ceremony today. Now, I see also that as well as adults, we've got a few children with us today and a few babies, and they're very welcome also. Now, one thing is certain, of course, and that is that during an hour-and-a-half ceremony, they're sure to make some noise, and that's why parents usually sit at the back so they can make a hasty retreat when their children start to cry or make a noise. please don't feel that you are obliged to go outside. We would actually prefer you to stay. No one is ever bothered by the sound of children making a noise or a baby crying. In any event, we've discovered from long experience that if a baby cries throughout a graduation ceremony, he or she is back within 25 years to take out a PhD. So it's a very, very good omen. Well now, first let me welcome our graduands, and I hope that today will be a very happy and a very memorable occasion for all of you. But it will only be a happy occasion if you all relax. Some of you look happy and relaxed, but some of you look as though you're about to head into the exam room rather than pick up a degree. Now, I am assured that you've all passed your exams, so there's nothing to worry about. The very worst thing that can happen today is that when you're up here being presented, this thing can fall off. If it does, and it often does, we just pick it up and plonk it back on your head. I suppose the very worst thing that can happen is you slip and fall over. That's why we have all these people here. They're here to pick you up and send you on your way when you do that. But today, I'm probably the one who might fall and slip. I'm a little bit disabled today. So sit back and relax and just enjoy this day, because you deserve to enjoy it. You deserve to take pride, great pride, in your graduation. Because completing a degree is never easy. You need an intelligent and inquiring mind. You need determination and perseverance, and you need to make many sacrifices. So welcome and congratulations to each and every one of you. Today I also want to welcome, and especially welcome, those of you who are sitting over there or behind our graduands as their invited guests. Because if you think about it for a moment or two, you've all obviously done well too. The very fact that you're here, the fact that you've been invited by one of our graduands to share one of the great days of their lives, is proof positive that you've been very important in their lives and in the successes that we celebrate today. So mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, cousins, sons and daughters, grandmothers and grandfathers, friends, husbands and wives, partners, boyfriends, girlfriends, lovers, or whatever you are, congratulations, and thank you for celebrating this great occasion with us. And I don't want you to think either that observing today's graduation is the end of your role, because I have another very important service for you to perform for our newest graduates, as they will soon become. Excuse me. I want you to make sure that the degrees they receive today are never ever put in a bottom drawer, but are always proudly displayed in a position of prominence. In other words, if our graduands are too shy or self-effacing to proclaim their success, you make sure you do it for them. Now, the ceremony that we're about to participate in is one of the world's oldest social rituals. For centuries, graduates have been donning robes just like the ones our graduands are wearing today, and participating in ceremonies just like this one. Indeed, there are some 50 universities in the world which can trace their history back more than 500 years. Now, I hope it won't come as a surprise to you to learn that Macquarie University is not one of those universities, but in comparison, we're still very young. This year we celebrate our 50th Jubilee. But in those 50 years, we have come a long way. We now have graduates living in more than 140 countries, and either late this week or early next week, we will be marking our 150,000th graduation. So I'm not sure who that lucky student is going to be, but we'll certainly make sure we tell them on the day. Now, Macquarie is a very modern and a very outward-looking university. We're regarded as one of Australia's leading research universities and are continually progressing by extending our research, our course offerings and our facilities. We're always trying to engage with the world around us. We've forged strong alliances with the community and with industry and are keen to establish more. On your way here this morning, you may have seen our still relatively new Macquarie University Hospital, just about 3 years old. We're the only university in Australia with its own private hospital, and it's used by the students and the professional and academic staff in our Advanced School of Medicine. Mind you, of course, its primary purpose, as with any hospital, is to treat sick people. I think it's 180 beds, and it really does provide first-class care and treatment, and I can attest to that from personal experience. I spent 3 days in hospital late last year, and I can assure you that the care is absolutely first class, especially when you're the Chancellor. So keep that in mind. You might also have seen our new library, which I think has become the envy of every university in the land, or perhaps our new Advanced Hearing Hub, which was opened last year and which is a world-leading institute dedicated to advances in hearing, speech and language sciences. So we're looking forward and we're on the move. We want Macquarie always to be a leader in teaching and learning and a leader in the accumulation of knowledge and understanding. In other words, an ideal community of scholars. And graduands, in just a few minutes, it will be my very great honour to confer your degrees upon you and welcome you as lifelong members of that community of scholars we proudly call Macquarie University. Thank you.
Chancellor, I call on Mr Christopher Joseph Huddard, who is graduating today with an honours degree of Bachelor of Ancient History and has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence and the University Medal for Ancient History, to speak on behalf of the graduating group. Mr Huddard.
Chancellor, members of the university, fellow graduates and guests, welcome. I'm deeply honoured to be speaking before you on such a special occasion, and I'm truly grateful for the opportunity. Seeing as every member of the Department of Ancient History has been subjected to the sound of my voice for 4 straight years, I'll keep this short. Trevor, since you've borne the brunt of my chatter and you're also the departmental timekeeper, if you could give me the signal for 2 minutes, then 1 minute, that would be great. I would never pretend to be speaking for every graduate in this room. I'm just one student in a crowd of unique and special stories, but I'll speak from my heart and hopefully touch on the important things we have in common. First, to our graduates, congratulations. This is a true achievement. Some of us have been at Macquarie earning our degrees for 3 or 4 years, others 5 or 6 or even more, but we have all been moving towards this day for our entire lives. One day, this day, the day we graduate. Countless other days have been poured out working towards it because that's what achieving a university degree takes. Your degree doesn't start when you walk onto campus or end when you get home. Your degree is there from the moment you accept your offer. It's there when you're waiting for the train that never arrives on time. It's there when you're in line for the 5th coffee of the day and the essay is still not done. It's there when you just want to do anything else but the work you signed up to do. University is a lifestyle, and your degree permeates all other aspects of your life. So to succeed in something so big, which requires so much effort and so very much attention, truly is a great achievement. So I congratulate you all. Well done. A university degree is a very personal thing. We spend so much of our time thinking about ourselves. What do I think? What do I need to do? How well have I done? But no single person can complete a university degree alone. All the graduates sitting here today have earned their seat and their paper, but all of us have been carried when we were tired, encouraged when we were heartbroken, and rescued when we were drowning by two essential components to any successful university degree: the university staff and our friends and family. On behalf of every graduate, I thank the wonderful, caring and diligent staff of Macquarie University from the bottom of my heart. The academic staff, the administrative staff, the support staff and everyone in between. Just like our degrees, you're always there. But so is the work that you have to do, the work we never see. And we all just think you're superhuman and can handle anything, because as students, we have no way to truly comprehend just how much effort you all put in for us. You make us so proud, and you've made us who we are today. We're blessed to have you all. To our families and our friends, you are the hands which hold us up when we simply cannot stand. You've run this race with us, and though you may not be walking up onto this stage with us, you've walked every step by our side. So I say, on behalf of my fellow graduates, to every friend who stood by us when we thought we were all alone, and to every family member who was already there to save us when we thought we had nowhere to turn, there is no way that we can ever truly thank you. But I'm sure we will spend the rest of our lives trying to be the sons, daughters, and friends that you all deserve. We really are nothing without you. Staff, family members, friends, and Macquarie graduates, we have all earned this day together. These degrees are all of our degrees, and we're all here to celebrate. So from one student, from the ranks of all these happy graduates, I wish this community and all of its special people a wonderful day and a rewarding life. Congratulations and God bless. Thank you.
Well done, Christopher. That was a superb speech, so congratulations. And congratulations also on your honours degree and the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence and the University Medal. Now, to win a University Medal is quite something, and you make sure you look after it when you get it, because I can assure you that for decades and decades to come, your children, your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren will be boasting about it. So, congratulations. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we now come to the key part of the ceremony, the reason that we are all here, and that is the conferring of degrees. Now, I have to admit it is the one part of the ceremony that makes me just a trifle nervous, because I have been assured on the best legal advice in the country that if I confer a degree on someone who's not eligible to receive it, there's nothing I can do to take it back. So I have to make sure that each and every one of you is eligible to graduate today. So for that reason, I'm going to call upon the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Students and Registrar, Deidre Anderson, to give me an ironclad assurance that none of you have ever missed a class and none of you have ever been late in submitting an assignment. Dee, can you give me that assurance, please?
Chancellor, I certify that all the candidates being presented here today and those who are absent have satisfied the requirements of Academic Senate for the degrees and diplomas they are to be awarded. Would all candidates for admission to degrees and diplomas please stand?
Graduands, in the name of the Macquarie University Council and by my authority as Chancellor, I admit each of you present and those who are absent to the degrees and diplomas for which you have qualified. Graduates, congratulations.
Will you please be seated? Chancellor, the graduates at this ceremony are from the Faculty of Arts. Students and staff in this faculty work together within and across disciplinary boundaries to ask questions about socially complex problems, identify paths of research, and analyse and communicate ideas in creative formats, and reflect on the skills and knowledge that they will need to better understand the world, past and present. Students are encouraged to use their skills and talents to connect with local and global communities. This faculty includes research and study areas in ancient history, anthropology, English, Indigenous studies, international studies, law, music, communication and cultural studies, modern history, politics and international relations, philosophy, sociology, policing, intelligence and counter-terrorism. Chancellor, I now call on Professor John Simons, the Executive Dean of the Faculty of Arts, to present the graduates. Professor Simons.
Chancellor, I present to you the graduates from the Faculty of Arts whom you have admitted to degrees. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Rodrigo Camilo Acuna for a thesis entitled Venezuelan Foreign Policy Towards Latin America and the Caribbean, the Bolivarian Revolution's Attempt to Unify a Region and Challenge US Hegemony, 1999 to 2012. Dr. Kerry Edwin Bryant for a thesis entitled Imploding Dominion Ideology, the Rise of the Slave in Romans 6, 12 to 23. Dr. Raymond L. Hazelhurst for a thesis entitled Sons of the Prophets, Continuity and Change in Clapham Evangelicalism. Dr. Daniel Sai Kyung Lee for a thesis entitled The Sensual and the Moral Kongzi Shi Lun as an Exegesis of the Si Jing. Dr. Kay Lipa for a thesis entitled Education, Literacy and its Cognitive Effects, Problem Solving and Decision Making in Homer and Archaic and 5th Century BC Athens. Dr. Camilla Walker for a thesis entitled Conceptual Metaphors of Emotion and Narrative Realism in Middlemarch and Anna Karenina. Dr. Adam Graham White for a thesis entitled Where is the Wise Man? Greco-Roman Education as a Background to the Divisions in 1 Corinthians 1 to 4. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Philosophy, Neil Cameron Sinclair, for a thesis entitled The Development and Decline of Provincial Rule from the Old to the Middle Kingdom, an analysis of the tombs and titles of the senior officials of Upper Egypt. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Arts, Sandra Elizabeth Alderson, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Malcolm Fraser Anderson. Richard Charles Anderson. Dorothy May Best. Jason Biazonsky-Burchik. Jason Blockley. Susan Elizabeth Brendish. Elizabeth Ann Campbell. Glenn Alexander Curry. Deborah Blythe Hope, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Fiona Jane Hunt. Judith Kate Jaff. Jessica Kawaja. Melissa Joy Mance. Amanda Jane Midlam, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Bruce Richard Naylor, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Tracy Pilgrim, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Jeffrey Charles Schneider. Nicole Victoria Shipley. Upala Sunthanka. Amy Louise Wallace. Catherine Victoria Webb. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Policy and Applied Social Research, Amna Bilgrami. Yogendra Bista. Mark Llewellyn. Eugenia Fadzai Donga. Leanne Janelle Perry. Barbara Loreto Vallejos. I present the diplomate awarded the graduate diploma in Women's Studies, Sarah Alexandra Chandler. I present the graduate admitted to the honours degree of Bachelor of Ancient History with First Class Honours and the University Medal for Ancient History, Christopher Joseph Haddad, who has also been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. I present graduates admitted to the honours degree of Bachelor of Ancient History with First Class Honours, Nicole Janine Moffat. Alexander Wood. I present the graduate admitted to the honours degree of Bachelor of Ancient History, Andrew Hammond. I present the graduate admitted to the honours degree of Bachelor of Arts with First Class Honours, Michael Marakakis. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Ancient History, Claire Michelle Belshaw. Marcus Jia Hao Chin. Susan Ann Kelly. Peter Louise MacDonald. David Cameron Pedder. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Jessica Faye Allen. Shannon Baker. Jacqueline Ruth Cadogan. Isabella Chan. Alexander Peter Chard. Matthew Connolly. Nicole Dahlberg. Isabel Kate de Vroom. Peter John Dean. Jason Paul McManus Erskine. Adam von Farsky. Maisa Hassan. Christopher Hurd. James Choi Hong. Emma Louise Jamieson. Michael Paul Johnson. Georgia Christie Calisperis. Arum Kim. Catherine Louise King. Anna Krautbauer. Elizabeth Ann Laird. Monica Eli Ledesma. Amy Elissa Lago. Vanessa Crystal Liu. Oh, sorry. We'll start again. We'll do that again. Vanessa Crystal Liu. Jeffrey William Limbert. Patrick Sun Chung Lo. Tonya Mayett. Laura McMahon. Don Maxim. Bronte Sarah McDowell Jones. Anna Melville. Nicola Kelly Moriarty. Jonsu Stephanie Oz. Laura Jane Pierce. Anthony John Pinkham. Ralph Price. Denise Raven de la Cruz Rueix. Riska Inda Sanjaya. Monica Sharp. Jodie Skellen. Mia Spears. Philippa Mary Thompson. Lauren Elise Turner. Anna Van. Isabel Claude Honkenth. Demi Georgia Vutos. Richard Warner. Matthew Peter Williams. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of International Studies, Thomas Mark Ainsworth. Sarah Elizabeth Ansky. Nicholas Bishara. Tiani Tholalundolu. Francesca Stephanie Colley, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Simon Cross. Alice Quack. Sophie Ellen Limbert. Victor Luo. Gabrielle Nash. Liza Therese Naismith. Mi Phuong Joanna Nguyen. Jessica Nell O'Neill. Kimberly Sue Ching Pedersen. Kelsey Amara Stanmore. Lara Ashling Stegman. Faye Louise Veloso. Okay. Jason Siddharth Waters. Isabella Casmin Wolf. Oh, yes, yeah. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Laws, Eileen Linda King. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Social Science, Rachel Louise Chapman. Sandra Ann Cooper. Amanda Joan Hakim. Jessica Inada. I present diplomates awarded the Diploma in Languages, Franca Ceballo. David Charles Pike. I present the diplomate awarded the Diploma of Ancient Languages, Janet Ellen Brown. I present the diplomate awarded the Diploma of Languages, Eunice Moore. Chancellor, that completes this morning's presentation of the graduates from the Faculty of Arts.
too bad, was it? That beautiful voice, ladies and gentlemen, belongs to Angela Brewer. And you've been very lucky today to hear Angela sing, because on the occasions when Angela can't come, I do the singing. Would you like to hear Angela sing a little bit more? Okay, it's very simple. You just enrol in another degree, and when you come back, I promise you, Angela will be singing again at your graduation. I think Angela deserves another great round of applause. As do our other fabulous musicians on the trumpet, Melanie McLaughlin over there. And our organist, Dr. James Forsyth. And also sitting around the side of the hall are some of our alumni volunteers who come along just to make sure that your graduation ceremony runs smoothly. I think they need a great round of applause too. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as part of this graduation ceremony, we honour a member of staff from the Faculty of Arts who has made an outstanding contribution to student learning at Macquarie University. I now call upon Professor John Simons, the Executive Dean of the Faculty of Arts, to read the citation. Professor Simons.
Chancellor, it gives me great pleasure to invite Dr. Jane Messer to come forward. Dr. Jane Messer is a 2013 winner of the Vice-Chancellor's Citation for Outstanding Contributions to Student Learning. For support of student engagement with graduate capabilities through the design of an innovative curriculum and resources that promote student motivation, resourcefulness and creativity. Dr. Jane Messer has demonstrated leadership in learning and teaching, as well as excellence in curriculum design and student learning support in her development of the Writing Major Capstone Unit. Her performance in this area shows informed engagement with the scholarship of learning and teaching, as well as a nuanced understanding of the learning needs of her student cohort. In supporting the transition to employment in a writing-related field, Dr. Messer created an e-journal, The Quarry, where students not only publish their work, but also learn to edit and produce the journal. This commitment and creative response to the need to facilitate student learning outcomes indicates that Dr. Jane Messer is a worthy recipient of a Vice-Chancellor's Citation for Outstanding Contribution to Student Learning. Chancellor, I present to you a truly worthy recipient of a Vice-Chancellor's Citation for Outstanding Contributions to Student Learning, Dr. Jane Messer, from the Department of English, Faculty of Arts.
Well, graduates and ladies and gentlemen, it's now my pleasure to introduce our occasional speaker, Mr. Tim Beresford. Tim is the Executive Director of Australian Operations of Austrade. And before working for Austrade, Tim had a very distinguished career in both the public and private sectors. He has a record of senior leadership in government, financial and professional services, and managing global teams of more than 1,000 employees. Tim was recruited to the Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet from the private sector and was head of the Social Policy Division. He recently negotiated and delivered a National Health Reform Agreement which included all Australian states and territories. Tim has a strong record of achievement in business, leading several major strategic acquisitions and rebranding projects, including developing the West Bank retail banking distribution strategy, which included a multi-channel online strategy resulting in the end-to-end redesign of the online channel. He has widespread experience in managing multiple stakeholders, backed by strategic and advisory skills shaped by his time at McKinsey and Company in London and in Sydney. Tim was appointed to the board of the Benevolent Society in February 2013 and was a board member of Plan International Australia from 2003 to 2012. He has a Masters of Philosophy in International Relations from Cambridge University, as well as bachelor degrees in Law and Economics, first-class honours from Sydney University. Now, as a graduate of Sydney University myself, even though I'm Chancellor of Macquarie, I'm not one-eyed. I'm the first person to admit that Sydney University is the oldest, the biggest, the wealthiest, and without doubt, the second best university in Australia. Tim was a Menzies Scholar in 1994. He's also an associate of the Securities Institute of Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tim Beresford.
Chancellor, Deputy Chancellor, members of the academic procession, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honour to speak to you today at this very important event. Graduation is a pivotal moment in one's life. Nowadays, we tend to think of education as a spectrum that continues through one's life, rather than confined to a specific phase of one's life. Nevertheless, for most of us, ceremonies like this are still a significant life event, marking the end of something familiar and the beginning of something new. They're a chance to reflect on the things we've learned through many years of gruelling study, as well as to think about what does come next. It's a time of pride and relief, expectation and uncertainty. Your education may take many years, but it's a definite destination. Life, on the other hand, your working life, your personal life, your private life, isn't like that. It's a journey which can be exciting and challenging all at the one time. I remember as a student being intently focused on short blocks of time, the next term, the next semester, the due date for the next assignment, or those exams in November. When graduation arrives, it creates a grand set of possibilities and opportunities, leaving us open to a sense of expectation, but also uncertainty. Today, I'd like to reassure you. We may read a lot of negative things in the media about Australia, specifically our economy. That's fair enough. The media have a role to be critical and a role to be sceptical, to see the glass half empty. But from where I stand, the glass is half full, more than half full. In my current role at the Australian Trade Commission, I help Australian businesses develop international markets, as well as work with foreign direct investors considering investment in Australia. And from where I stand, we have plenty of positive things to say about Australia. Australia has had one of the strongest economic performances of all OECD members over the last 10 years. We have now recorded 22 years of consecutive growth. Indeed, some of you in this room today may have never experienced a recession. Recent industry research says there's every reason to believe that this can and will continue. While it's true that some sectors of our economy are entering periods of change and decline, other sectors are playing a critical role in driving our future economic and social prosperity. These sectors include agribusiness, tourism, education, health, wealth management, just to name a few. Much of what these industries produce are already being exported. And with the rise of Asia and Asia's growing middle class, these sectors have a very bright future indeed. Although it's recently become fashionable to say that Australia's entered the mining boom, the truth is that demand for our energy, our resources, will continue to remain healthy for a long time to come. Exports in this sector are expected to rise by about 50% over the next 5 years alone. Meanwhile, the rest of our economy will continue to benefit from Australia's perennial strengths: sound institutions, sound government, a talented and educated workforce, and a harmonious and diverse society. There are, of course, things we can do to improve. Australia, like most developed nations, is facing tough budgetary challenge to live within its means. Moreover, it's critical that as a nation we continue to drive for productivity, as our population is indeed ageing. By the time many of you retire in and around 2050, there will only be 2.7 people of working age to everyone over the age of 65. That compares today with 5 working aged people per everyone over 65. But these are challenges that we are well equipped to meet, and indeed, in many cases, we are already doing so. I believe you are graduating at a good time to help Australia shape and capture its future prosperity. The future of our nation looks bright. Your challenge is to decide what role do you want to play in it. You're a talented and bright group of people, and you may have an opportunity to either contribute on Australia's international stage or domestic stage through either profit or not-for-profit organisations. Whatever path you take, it's important to remember that life's journey is the long game. As graduates of the Faculty of Arts, you'll probably find yourself developing a whole array of skills, a portfolio, if you will. That's a good thing. It'll help make you agile and adaptable in our ever-changing workplace over the next 20, 30 and 40 years. What you have gained at university is not simply a collection of academic or technical skills, but perspective and judgment. Perspective on the world and an ability to make good and ethical judgments. These attributes, perspective and judgment, will help you balance the benefits of short-term financial gain versus long-term achievement. In essence, it's these attributes of your university education which will help you play the long game. In closing, I just wish you all the very best. Congratulations and good luck on your life's journey. Thank you.
Well, graduates, Tim is absolutely right. Life's journey is a long game. It's good also to hear someone with an optimistic outlook, because it's not really in our nature as Australians. We tend to be very, very pessimistic. Australians, for some reason, always think we're going to fail and are always surprised when we don't. Always surprised by our own success. I don't know why that is. I don't know whether it goes back to our convict origins, or perhaps it has something to do with that poem. We'll all be ruined, said Hanrahan, but we never are. We are one of the great success stories of the world. Not only economically, although that's a tremendous achievement to be, I think, the only OECD country that has not had a recession in 22 years. I think probably, except with one other country, the only country that escaped the GFC without going backwards. But also socially, Australia is a success. And Tim even mentioned, and I always get a bit embarrassed when people say this, Australia has been well governed throughout its history. Now, despite our political differences and despite the fact that we get upset with governments and politicians, we always need to keep that in mind. We have been essentially well governed right from the time when Captain Arthur Phillip established the first European settlement here. Because one of the first things he did was establish the rule of law in a convict settlement. And that was unheard of, but it got us off to a very, very good start. So, Tim, thank you very much for those optimistic remarks, and thank you for being such an important part of our graduation ceremony this morning. Well, ladies and gentlemen and graduates, this ceremony, of course, marks the end of one stage in your relationship with Macquarie University, but it's certainly not the end of your association with Macquarie. From today on, for the rest of your lives, you are part of the bigger Macquarie family, which is our alumni, and part of the network of 150,000 Macquarie alumni spanning the globe. We'll keep in touch with you through our alumni program, which is focused on lifelong learning, lifelong support, and lifelong connections. Our commitment to you is to help you keep in touch and engaged with Macquarie throughout your life. And graduates, please do make sure that you come back to Macquarie, either to undertake more study, to attend alumni events, or perhaps to use our aquatic and fitness facilities, or even, if the mood takes you, as it occasionally does, to just come back with some friends and enjoy a picnic down by the lake. Well, graduates, the award of a university degree carries many opportunities and privileges. But like all privileges, it also carries responsibilities. Believe it or not, you, each and every one of you, can change the world. And you don't have to be a Nobel Prize winner to do it either. Because almost everything you do, in your homes, in your workplaces, and in your communities, matters and can make a huge difference. The consequences of every effort, every action, large or small, can reverberate throughout society through the decades, indeed the centuries. Even something as simple as a kind word or a kind gesture can often be the spark that ignites a great life or a great career or a great achievement. So as Chancellor of Macquarie University, I charge you to use what you have learned, not only for your own benefit, but also for the betterment of the community. I charge you to use the skills and knowledge you have acquired with rigour and integrity, and to commit yourselves to a program of lifelong learning and inquiry. I charge you to recognise the worth and dignity of all people, particularly those who have not had the opportunities that you've enjoyed. I charge you to set high goals and to continue the hard work that has brought you so far. I charge you, wherever you go, to go with all your heart. And in all you do, I charge you to uphold the good name of Macquarie University. Now, graduates, I hope also that you'll always remember the people who have helped you along the way, many of whom, of course, are here with you today. So to acknowledge their contribution and thank them for it, I'm now going to ask you to do a few things. First, graduates, would you now please stand? Now I'd like you to put your degrees on the seats behind you so that your hands are free, And I'd like you to turn around to face your families and your friends. And now I invite you to give them a mighty round of applause. Well, graduates, you can pick up your degrees and you can turn around, but don't sit down yet because we'll be leaving in just a moment. Here, of course, on the stage are representatives of our academic staff who have also supported you throughout your journey, and I'm sure you'd like to thank them as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the official party will now leave the graduation hall through the centre aisle and will be followed by all of the graduates. I would invite everyone to now please stand, and please remain standing until the last of the graduates have processed out. And then I invite all of you to join us in the marquee overlooking the lake for some light refreshments. Well, graduates, I wish you the very best for the future. And in the words of the old Irish blessing, may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Graduates, good luck.